when a broken piece sparks a beautiful piece of art. This is a wonderful story. I hope you enjoy it.
So I, my wife broke a plate in the kitchen during the pandemic 2.5 years ago.
And I
So she
know,
was upset because it was a plate that we inherited from her mom. It was a small blue willow plate, like you said, large enough fragment that it looked interesting and just didn't want to throw it away. We threw the other parts of it away, but so we kept it. And I was just like, I don't know what we should do with this. Or should it in the basement or, somehow keep. Anyways, it sat on the island for a couple months. And then all of a sudden, after passing it 1,000 times, I noticed something I hadn't noticed before. I just had thought of it as a geometric pattern, but I noticed the figures and the birds, and they're a part of it. And so I was sort of just had this vision of the rest of the world beyond that.
oh wow.
I take the inspiration and then I do think of like, okay, if this was exploding out, if this was fracturing into to let loose this world, like what could be, what's possible,
Mhm.
right? And so if it's a harbor, there would be birds flying, there would be seagulls, and there would be large boats flying, either coming in or going out. And a lot of times I would choose to go out because I want to have that explosive, quality. And then, and so then their decision, should I have like a whale jumping out, or is that too kind of fantastical? In some pieces that would make sense, in other pieces it doesn't. In the
Mhm.
blue willows, there's a lot of, like you're saying, symbolism. It's just
Mhm.
filled with symbolism, so you can go really far with that, and go into like a very almost abstract. I mean, a lot of the stuff is abstract, um, but it's kind of looking at the characters and then thinking of the characters. So there are these monks that are crossing a bridge. What else could they be doing? Where are they going? They're going into some temple. Is there a temple off in the distance? What would they be playing with? They might be playing with kites and balloons, things that are from that culture.
Mhm.
Um, so that's, or other things that are more dynamic with there's I've started putting waterfalls in. Because the plate's kind of breaking out, and as you're drawing, a lot of rivers um, are in some of the more sort of European pastoral plates, or there's an American plate, the memory lane plate, where there's a river.
Okay, so the first one, it was an accident. Then after that, you just go ahead and get the hammer and start breaking the plates, or what do? You just drop them? Just tell us a little bit about that part of it.
There'll be the story of the plate, and then you break it, and then I'll pick out the pieces that look good together as a starting point. And then I'm gonna have to do some research because I'm not gonna just copy exactly from the plate. I need to think of like, okay, there's the figure on a horse standing next to a dog. It's like, what else could be there? And so then I'll start to look up pictures of like hunting scenes, or uh, either, okay, either I'll go into nature, I'll go for a run. That's probably the best thing for me.
Mhm.
Um, and then from that, we'll often get uh, ideas. But then also just looking elsewhere and just kind of looking at other pictures. So that's kind of my art history background, probably, is like looking at what other people have done, getting
Mhm.
getting that broader perspective. Um, or with the sailing ships, like what are some nautical themes? What are different kinds of boats? And I want to look at as many of those things as possible. And then things will start to jump out. Or if I want a bird, I'll look up, flying geese and flying, and I'll look at as many images as I can. Um,
The whole story reminds me of something that came to my mind. There's an artist, I don't know if you know of her. Her name is Shakira, is from Colombia, where I come from. And she has a song called Monotonia. And in one of the lines, she's kind of like singing this with her sons. She just got divorced. And then she's saying, just like one plate broke, not the entire China. And I love it. And when I saw it, I saw your pieces. And then when I always look for ways to bring something that can inspire and help patients and survivors and someone going through a difficult challenge. And I thought, how beautiful of what we can learn from your artwork, which is there's a broken piece, you took the pieces and you created something new, something different, something unique, something that still has the memory of what it was, but you transform it and made it beautiful. So I think it is, and I hope patients and survivors that are watching can take these as an inspiration, a real inspiration, because I think it's a beautiful story. I love your designs. I love the movement that you have began, because I think that there's so many ideas and things that you are imagine you're working on with this opportunity of a one broken plate that started a whole movement. So thank you so much, Robert. It's been an amazing conversation